sadly, but with confidence and humility, with allegiance to our founders and a heart full of love for America. Today, I am asking our chairman to proceed with articles of impeachment. I commend our committee chairs and our members for their somber approach to actions which I wish the president had not made necessary.
Welcome to What America's Thinking for Friday, December 6th. I'm Jamal Simmons. So you just heard yesterday's announcement from House Speaker Nancy Pelosi directing the Judiciary Committee to draft impeachment articles against President Donald Trump. No matter what side of the aisle you claim, it's a historic time for our country. This has only happened a few times before. Only Andrew Johnson and Bill Clinton were formally impeached by Congress, but neither were actually removed from office. When Richard Nixon faced an impeachment inquiry in the House of Representatives, he resigned before a vote could ever happen. In response to Pelosi's announcement, House Minority Leader Kevin McCarthy invoked Hamilton, not the play, the man.
This morning I listened to Speaker Pelosi give us historical references. The one that she skipped was Alexander Hamilton when he wrote, "There will always be the greatest danger that the decision to use the impeachment power would be driven by partisan animosity instead of real demonstrations of innocence or guilt." Today is the day that Hamilton warned us.
Reports say a vote on impeachment could happen as early as Christmas. There's no doubt things are moving fast. Are you fading out or are you keeping up? We wanted to check in and see how closely you were following this whole impeachment inquiry mess. The last time we asked the question, the majority of Americans said they were following the impeachment proceedings at least somewhat closely. Let's check our HarrisX Daily Poll to see if anything's changed. Our HarrisX Daily Poll found that some Americans are starting to tune out of the impeachment inquiry. Let's take a look at our newest numbers first. A quarter of Americans are paying very close attention and 37% are paying attention somewhat closely. About another quarter of voters say they aren't paying too much attention and 14% say not at all. That brings us to a net 62% who say they are following along closely and 38% who say it's not really for them. If we look at this question over time, we can definitely see a slight drop off in interest. Back in October, 30% said they were following along closely, while 40% said somewhat closely, with a net of 70% of folks who were paying attention. The number of folks who said they weren't following along very closely has stayed pretty steady, but those who say they aren't following impeachment news at all has been slowly climbing. Let's take a look at party breakdown here. We're looking at net numbers on this one. The number of Democrats who say they've been following along closely has dropped 7 points since October, and they aren't alone. Interest among GOP voters has dropped too, 10 points, and among Indies, they started out with 61% who said they were following closely, and interest peaked in early November, but now that number has dropped down to 54%. Let's take a quick look at a few other polls who are also trying to gauge how closely folks are following the impeachment probe. A recent ABC News Ipsos poll finds that 58% of Americans say they're following the hearings very or somewhat closely. And a new NPR PBS NewsHour Marist poll finds that 64% of Americans have been following impeachment news closely. Though our poll seems to say interest in impeachment is waning, looking at other polls, it seems that support and opposition for impeachment is split and holding steady. What about you? Are you still keeping up with impeachment, or are you impeachment out? Let us know in the comments, and happy Friday. I'm off to do some Christmas shopping, and trust, I will not be getting my wife a Peloton. Is there something the HarrisX poll isn't covering, but you think we ought to be taking a look at? Let us know in the comments or tweet us at HillTV Live using the hashtag WAT. Thanks for watching What America's Thinking. As always, you can catch more great content from Hill TV by subscribing to the Hill's YouTube channel. Just click the bell so you know when new videos get posted. And head to thehill.com for all the latest political news. You can also find me at Jamal Simmons on Twitter and at Real Jamal Simmons on Facebook and Instagram. See you next time.